Hi friends, my name is Keri Phay, and my goal today is to start and end with Jesus. So I'm going to begin by reading to you Colossians 1, verses 15 through 17. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him, and he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Now, it seems to me that nearly everyone I talk to these days has had a pretty tough year. And I don't mean just pandemic tough, although that's definitely added a lot of stress and heartache to a lot of our lives. But I mean, even aside from the pandemic, it seems that a lot of people in our church family and in our town, really all around, are facing difficult trials and circumstances and challenges. And when Alicia asked me if I would share personally about something the Lord's been teaching me, I realized that if I was going to be personal with you, I would have to confess that 2020/21 has also been a pretty tough year for me too. And I just share a few of these circumstances with you in hopes that I can also share with you some of the ways that the Lord has sustained me and encouraged me and helped me through them. So 2020 started for me with a cancer scare and a surgery. And, right after I was recovering from surgery, the pandemic began. And then fast forward a few months, and our firstborn moved halfway across the country to go to college. And we were literally driving home from dropping her off, and we got the call that a very close and dear friend of ours was at the end of her battle with cancer. And so I just share those things to confess that there have been many times over this past year when I have felt like both the big world and my own world were falling apart. But Jesus, in his gentle kindness, he really got my attention with Colossians 1:17 and those words that in him all things hold together. Nothing's going to fall apart. He's in control. He's going to keep us together. And he first used those words for me when Mike and I were sitting in a football stadium in Colorado in a social distanced crowd of college students and their parents, and the president of Emma's College spoke those words to us, and God just started to really get my attention and shift my focus and knead those words into my heart and give me the peace that I needed to realize that he's in control. None of these things that are happening are a surprise, and he's got good plans in the midst of all of these challenging things. So we were able to kiss Emma goodbye and leave her in the Lord's hands and know that he had her. He has control of her life, and he gave us peace in saying goodbye to her. So God is so gracious in that as soon as he kind of started using that verse, all of a sudden it was everywhere. And so it was in a song that was playing on the radio constantly, and it was in a devotion that a favorite author of mine had written, and it was even in a school book that I used the following week with the girls. So I really claimed that verse, and it became the verse of our year. I also just wanted to say that, that verse didn't change any of those difficult circumstances. We still had to get used to having our daughter hundreds of miles away, and I still had to say goodbye to a dear friend and watch her walk through those last days of her life. And I still have to face my own fear about cancer, and we still have to navigate this pandemic. But the beauty of it is that our Lord Jesus is in control. And I love how the Reformation Study Bible puts it, that Jesus is the moment-by-moment sustainer. Moment by moment, he's with us. He's holding us together. He's holding our lives together. He's holding our children's lives together. He's holding our marriages together. He's holding our physical bodies together. He's holding our friendships together. He's holding our church together. He's holding his good and perfect plans for us together. He's holding our world together. He's holding his kingdom together. I mean, there's just no end to the peace and the comfort we can find in resting in this promise, this hope we have that in him, he's holding all things together. And so I just wanted to encourage you with that today, and ask you to just, if you're struggling, to just take some time and try to rest in that truth and try to surrender your heart and your worries to the King of the universe. And I just pray that today, even now, you can relax in his love and care for you.